Hi guys, it's Joy, and I wanted to do, I don't know if it's a part 2 necessarily, but it's, I wanted to do another video on something that Ryland and Lizzie, or Ryland and Larzar, they talked about in their podcast. And just as I predicted, of course, they're being, it's funny. Every time I come out and I predict the sarcasm around something, people will take exactly what I've done and they will say it as fact. Not that I think anybody's actually paying attention to my channel that's a bigger channel. It's just very easy to predict how these drama channels are going to frame things. They're kind of like the new paparazzi. I've been saying this. Why don't I actually moisturize my lips before I start talking? That's weird to say moisturize your lips. I don't know. It sounds off to me. It sounds like somebody weird trying to hit on you. Did you moisturize your lips? Why am I over-pronunciating what I'm saying? Why am I over-analyzing everything I'm saying to you guys? Hello, good morning or afternoon for y'all. So, yeah, there was another part of this I wanted to talk about, but the clip it's a little bit long. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit long, but I think there's a lot of good parts in it, and I will be honest too, guys, I'm a little bit cranky today. Typically I'm one of those people that wakes up in a good mood. You know how some people just incessantly, and this is for a lot of people, they wake up feeling like crap, or they're in a bad mood and it takes them a while to get out of it, or it takes like a stimulant like coffee, and that's not me putting people down. Like, the world is hard, right? I'm somebody that typically wakes up happy and positive, except I also understand waking up and not feeling well, which happens to me depending on what's going on with my body, and it can take a while to feel better. I'm just happy I'm at a point where many days I can wake up feeling like crap for certain reasons and I feel better. But I'm kind of cranky, which is not typically like me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put on my sunshine hoodie and I'm going to try to pull out as much sunshine as I can for this video because I don't want to transfer that to you guys. But then lady hormones are a thing. If any men are watching, here they are vomiting. Oh my gosh. She talked about hormones. Disgusting. Can't handle it. I'm sorry, ladies, bodies are a thing and they go through stuff. I know it's hard to believe and I know you don't want to hear about it, but we have to live it and society doesn't care. And we're sick like 25 or 50% of our lives. So Ryland and Sharon, let's talk about it. Oh, also, this is so frustrating. So do you guys ever have like home hoodies and show hoodies is what I call them? So at some point, when I get everything organized, because there's still like, some of it is, but it's still embarrassingly messy. I need to show off some of my new wardrobe stuff I got since I've been losing weight. And I have probably a collection of like 30-ish hoodies. I'm not joking. And they're all different colors. It just looks like a big spread out rainbow. But a lot of the hoodies, some are show hoodies and some are wearing hoodies. So for instance, like I have 3 or 4 hoodies I mainly wear around the house, but then like, I don't know, because they're fleece, right? And they're super soft. If you wash them too much, they get weird. So then I have my other hoodies that are like my going out hoodies, and these look nice and I don't want to wash them too many times as much as I can. Well, this is one of my show hoodies, and look, I don't know what happened. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like all of a sudden last night, there's a red spot on it and it looks like blood. I'm like, how did blood get on this? But it could be beet juice because I actually eat beets every day. It's part of having to metabolize fats and getting my body used to having veggies again. I'm up to like 3/4 a cup on beets and carrots. Once I get to a cup sustainably, boom, here come the onions. Boom, here come the greens. And then sometime, maybe in the next few months, boom, taco salad time. I will cry when it's taco salad time. But yeah, so I don't know. Reminds me of Dwight. I'm a beet farmer. Every time I have to cut up the beets and my hands get red, I giggle because I feel Dwight wanting to Pretty Woman the store. Sound off if you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about Ryland. So Ryland and Larzy, or Larzar, maybe I should call her, they had a podcast. And in the podcast, they talked about Brittany's bars, which I'm really happy they talked about Brittany. And Ryland he indirectly kind of related it to some things going on with him. And of course, people are going to be upset. Oh, boo-hoo. Ryland has money and he's not supposed to have feelings ever. Or Ryland is actually, what is the rumor? Ryland's actually super broke and super poor, and Ryland is just mooching off of Shane. Shane has the money and Ryland's a little B word towards Shane, and therefore he just thinks he has money, and now he's going to act like he has money even though he has, what's the word, bougie taste? What is bougie? I'm not even joking. I've heard the word. Does that mean expensive? He's got bougie taste, expensive? I thought bougie was kind of like something people would say for somebody classless, but I've heard people saying it in reference to Ryland liking to spend money, which, by the way, if Shane and Ryland have money to spend, why is that any of our business? Is it because we're all a little bit jelly of other people's hard work and success? Look at me. I can't get my chapstick. moisturize. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this. And I have a lot of things to say. Also, what they're talking about, I'm already slightly cranky about lately. So maybe this will be a fun vent session for me, and maybe you'll hate yourself in the end. Hopefully it will be entertaining, but I can't guarantee anything because I have my sunshine hoodie on, and I got my sunshine hoodie bloody or beady bloody. Take a look.
It's been the week of docu-series / menaries for me. I've been watching so many I can't even count, but I first wanted to recap and just talk about framing Britney Spears and the Free Britney movement. I know we both watched, and I said, don't talk to me, baby girl. Let's talk about it on the pod. So what are your initial thoughts? Where do you lie?
Motherfucking free Britney. Motherfucking apologize to Brittany. How about take all that money you made on those paparazzi photos ruining this woman's lives and give it to fucking charity?
Okay,
How about that money you got from fucking selling that umbrella that she used to beat your car with, and you give that to somebody who deserves it?
You're intermixing your angles here. The paparazzi exploiting her is one thing, and then her conservatorship is another.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that play into it, and every single person who has profited off the downfall of Britney needs to nut up and shut the fuck up.
It's not like the world has changed. It's evolved in a different way because celebrities aren't as famous because everyone's famous now, so the tabloids aren't the main source of information, nor are paparazzis. But I do think like the negativity and how people talk about one another is still rampant.
Yeah. I also think the conservatorship is shit. She's of sound mind enough to say, I would like somebody else to be in charge of my conservatorship.
Right.
She's in sound mind enough to know that she has to play by certain rules to get certain things. That is so fucked. As a young woman who survives on less than $1 million a year, I can go ahead and tell you that her dad doesn't need to make $1 million a year preserving his daughter's fucking banks.
Well, yeah.
And making choices for her.
That's very true.
Crazy.
What I do think is fascinating in a horrific way is the psychological effects that something like the paparazzi on her life had.
Yeah.
And because I do think at one point she liked it. She was leaving her house like 7 or 8 times a day.
Yeah,
when,
at
like,
one point it's a quid pro quo, but after she's right, you know what I mean? Like you become a mother, your protective instincts kick in. You don't want to raise your child in that circus.
No, and it's vile. And the way that they were following her, the headlines, and it's like, I understand these huge outlets that are making probably tens of millions of dollars a year running with these headlines have no interest to stop doing that.
No, because negativity sells.
That's going to break a person's psyche. And the only reason that I ever played devil's advocate at all is because her Instagram is like a little concerning to me.
It's alarming, yeah.
So
but then there's also like, again, I'm not a medical professional, but I do know that playing ball within your conservatorship so that you can have a relationship with your children means that you're probably going to go to certain lengths to see your kids, right?
Right.
Certain lengths might even mean taking medications that are being thrown down your throat. In that previous Brittany documentary, she said things like, none of my doctors, none of my mental health care professionals are hearing me and listening to me and taking me into account. Yeah. They're making choices based off of an external situation that has nothing to do with where my mind and my body's at right now. And a lot of the things that she's doing are textbook symptoms of a person who's been on a specific medication for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. That's some Gypsy Rose Blanchard shit. And like, this is not fucking cool.
I don't know how one is supposed to come back, because she was villainized in every aspect. Like, if you watch the paparazzi videos, you're like, oh my gosh, if I was in her shoes, I would have done the same thing. I would have taken an umbrella to that paparazzo's car.
Oh, I would have been crazier.
Yet she's the one that's having this awful public meltdown. It's like, yeah, you would be too if there were 100 paparazzi following you every time you left your house.
If I'm trying to get into my baby daddy's house to get my fucking children and he's not opening the doors and I'm at a level fucking 10 heightened insecurity and someone knocks on my window and says, I just want to ask you a few questions right now, you best believe you're going to catch these fucking hands, and it's not going to be cute.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's this trap of fame. Like, I was also watching the Tiger Woods documentary, and it was so crazy to see how the media and how fame ate him alive. And
I'm literally getting chills thinking about the shit that the media does to make a buck when they're literally trifling in humanity. Yeah. Like, those are human beings that you're fucking with. I don't care how rich you are. I don't care what level of success you're at. If you are going to stalk somebody and blackmail them, that is fucking evil.
At the lengths that these outlets went to expose Tiger Woods to celebrate his downfall is disgusting.
Collecting that woman's tampon? Are you
insane.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What I thought was the most fascinating, though, is somebody that was close to Tiger for a lot of his life was like the same people that were championing Tiger Woods and wanted him to succeed so much were the same people that jumped on his back with both feet and kept stomping, which are the same people that then cheered on him coming back 10 years later and winning. I think it was the Masters.
Yeah.
And it's so true. And what I feel like with fame and being a public figure, I think, and I'm not like famous, but what I think I've come to realize is that you can't control the perception of you. You can't control your narrative. No one's in control of how other people view you because like as you walk through the world, it takes one person to get a story that's out
your
through
butt
the
is
roof.
trending on Super Bowl Sunday.
But I just mean, even like, and I saw over the weekend, Armie Hammer got dropped by WME.
Yeah.
His publicist that he pays a monthly fee, and publicists are expensive, dropped him. And I'm not like standing up for Armie Hammer, but what I'm saying is nobody's suing him. There's been no legal action. Nobody's come forward to say like he is indeed a cannibal. He like ate a person. And because of all of this bad press, because his image is no longer sellable, he's being thrown in the trash. And like, yeah, maybe he is a creep, and maybe something will come to light that further
damns him.
Yes, but like the world we're living in right now, I just feel like the internet's eventually going to eat itself. We're going to see everyone just leaving.
How beautiful would that be, though?
I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
like,
I think that would be a really great little plot twist.
At some point, people are going to just stop creating altogether. They're going to stop going on Instagram. They're going to stop going on Twitter because it's not fun to produce something for people to hate on. Like,
well, that's why Jenna Marbles left. Not because her content was being hated on, but because she felt so emotionally broken by the notion that her stuff, which she created lightheartedly, could hurt a mass amount of people.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to perpetuate hurt anymore.
But so many people don't. And it's like, even aside from that, like spending a month on a project you're so excited about, who wants to like go drop something promoting that when it's just going to be met with floods of
allegations hate.
So I think it's very fascinating. I think it's very interesting what the machine of fame does, how little control you actually have over your public image. And I kind of just
I was just going to say, it's like that South Park episode where like we build up these icons in our society literally so we can sacrifice them and bring them down. Because it's like the new order of gladiator battles, right? But the gladiator's not pitted against another gladiator. They're pitted against all of society.
Right.
And so we need to build these people up so that they can be big and beefy to get into the arena. And the second they get there, we're so psyched to watch them fall as hard as they fucking can in front of all of us.
Because it's entertaining. And what's great, and for me, like, this week I feel like a brand new girl. I like took some time for myself last week. I like went hiking. I met up with some friends. I like worked out. Like this morning I was running to Whitney Houston, just living my best life.
Whitney Houston's canceled. You can't.
She is?
I got you, bitch. I don't know.
I was like, oh my God.
And that's how fast the internet works.
Honestly, though. And even with like, I got inspired to like post a main channel video, and I left moments in where like my sister and I were fighting. And I was like, you know what? I'm sick of trying to like paint my own narrative. So like people are going to create assumptions about me no matter what I do. I might as well try to be at least a little bit entertaining or show real moments, because every family fights, everyone gets in tiffs, and like you get over it. Like, so I just figure, I guess I should lean into it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I also haven't laughed as hard as I laughed when Morgan ate shit.
You were there.
Yeah. I'm in the vlog.
I know. Lizzie also was celebrating her first mention. She like calls me and she's like,
we're on Insider.
Oh God, which is a drama channel, which is like the drama channel version of publicity.
You heard me read the article. I wasn't even reading it. I just see like Lizzie Gordon is like, that's me.
And they also take like other drama channels as their credible sources.
Yeah.
So
I honestly don't even know what this one was about, but I just know that they mentioned Lizzie Gordon. And then later on they said Gordon said.
Do you have Google alerts on for yourself?
I don't know how to do that.
Me either. Everyone's always like, got Google alerts. I was like, I don't even know how to set that up if I wanted. Which I don't want.
I don't
Jesus
want it.
Christ. I'm running from the internet.
I Google my feet once a week, but that's about it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do you mean?
Scene 1, take 2, common mark.
Okay, because you guys know I'm not very smart per my chronic illness and per the way I was born, because brains and bodies have to work together. Oh, well, they're supposed to. I took notes on the seriousness of this. So Ryland talks about farming Brittany's bars. And then they talked about apologizing to Brittany, and I loved Lizzie's. Lizzie was going off, going, take all that money you used or that you made from the paparazzi photos and that umbrella. So I don't know if this is true or not, and maybe I missed this part, but did they sell that umbrella that Brittany used to beat up that car? I bet they did. Take all that money and give it to charity. I say give it to Brittany. Give it to Brittany. Put it in crypto. Let it accumulate, and then give it to a trust fund for her children because she was trying to see her kids. I think this is a testament to me constantly saying 5, 10, 15 years ago, the world was a very different time and it wasn't that nice. People don't get it. One of the only people to stand up for Britney Spears was Chris Crocker, and we made fun of him almost to the same length. We almost ended him making fun of him because people at that point were transphobic. Yeah, it was a very different time. And everybody thought that this was totally acceptable to do and to make fun of her was totally okay. And I have a video later today coming out about this. It's the one where I've talked about Craig Ferguson. Craig Ferguson and Chris Crocker were two of the only people, period, to stick out for her. Craig Ferguson was already in the Hollywood industry, the only one there, and Chris Crocker was one of the only big voices of a normal person. So I go over Craig Ferguson and how crazy that was. And I want you, when you watch this video, if you watch it, watch the audience react. They are laughing at every horrible thing that's happened to her, even when Craig tells them not to. Make sure and pay attention to that. And it says, every single person that profited off Britney Spears should own up and shut up. Well, I agree, but they're not going to. And I think it's so funny that people are calling for Matt Lauer to apologize. With everything we know about Matt Lauer now, do you really think he's going to? And people want Diane Sawyer to apologize. Do you guys understand Diane Sawyer had a career and a history of triggering people and half making fun of them on an interview so she can get a reaction? Welcome to all the journalism except maybe the last 5-ish years. Where have y'all been? Oh, that's right. They were children who didn't live in that era. No disrespect to the kids. That's not your fault you weren't born. But hey, if your elders maybe tell you something happened, maybe try to believe us like we try to believe all the other disenfranchised people. Maybe we're not all horrible people, but I also understand if you don't trust millennials and boomers. For a long time, I didn't trust boomers either. Now I realize just millennials and boomers, it's just like a rainbow. There's a rainbow of great people and turds. You just try to avoid the shades of brown and know where they are and know how they speak. That's going to sound like I'm saying something against minorities, but I'm not. I'm talking about crappy people. I love everybody, but I can't stand anybody. Does that make any sense? I just got canceled. The negativity in how people talk to one another is still a rampant issue, says Ryland. Yes. Yes. And if people think he's digging at people on YouTube and the way people are, I think he's expressing himself, and he should, because guess what? People with money are not allowed to express themselves and have feelings. How dare they? Ryland thinks the psychological effects on how the paparazzi have treated somebody like that are awful. And he says, and then Lizzie was talking about when you become a mom, you don't want your kids raised in that circus. So a lot of things Brittany got criticized for. Brittany was being harassed, and then she would do things to get her children out of being harassed and being scared, and then she'd be criticized for what she did. They would literally create scary scenarios and put her in them, and then take pictures of her looking bad for everybody to say what a horrible mom she is, and they tried to get her kids taken away, and essentially they did. The world is crazy, and it's still crazy. So he says these people, these paparazzis, these drama channels run with these headlines, and they'll make millions of dollars a year, and it won't stop because it makes money, and it can break someone's psyche. Agreed. On a smaller, lesser level, I can't say it. I've been there on a much smaller, lesser level about the fact that I've lied about everything under the sun. The Daddy 05 court case, I ruined it. I almost ruined the court case. That was all internet conspiracy, and the truth that came out was I single-handedly helped get those people behind bars, and that Rose Hall, the mother, was constantly asking during the time she wasn't supposed to speak to do live streams, put me on a live stream and help me make money, give me money, do a video and give me money. And I kept saying no. I said I need permission from your lawyer. Has the judge given you permission to speak? Because otherwise it's going to hurt. People have no clue. All the while, Rose Hall is playing everyone against everyone to try to get money from everyone. I was the only one that would give her consistent money, though, because I was too nice and I really wanted to help. Not realizing what a con artist that whole family was. Oh, and if you think I'm wrong, her father admitted to the fact that they conned everybody, including me. It's in a tweet somewhere, on a Google Drive somewhere. If you look in videos, you'll find that. If not, sound off in the comments if you want it. I will go find it. It's in my Google Drives. A lot of fun, but let's just believe all the rumors that people run with, because that's what we're teaching kids with social media. That whatever the headline is, it's just true. Don't even look into it. Do you guys know how many people looked at my Trisha Paytas is suing me videos and went, good, I can't wait till she takes you down. You deserved it. And I'm like, oh, you didn't even watch the video. This is sarcasm. By the way, I have an update on that. Probably coming tomorrow. I wanted to have a little Trisha Paytas palette cleanser. I needed to kind of remove a little bit of that, but Trisha is continuing. As much as she wants me to stop talking about her, she continues to try to poke the bear. And hey, the bear is cranky and bored. I don't know, I keep thinking a bear is fluffy, and I'm like, I'm not fluffy, I'm still a little fat. I'm not as fat, which is nice. Anyway, so then somebody had said, Brittany will go to certain lengths. Oh, this was Lizzie. And Lizzie made a very, I think, intelligent point here. She was like, look, Brittany will go to certain lengths to see her kids. So many of the things she's doing right now aren't indicative of the fact, like mental health wise and the conservatorship. It's not indicative that these are things she necessarily needs to do, but she's doing them so she can see her kids. So basically, we could be medicating her and doing horrible medical and psychological mistreatment to her just so she can have her children in her life. Because we have heard the reports and we have seen in court documents and things that Brittany would be put in a mental hospital, made to take drugs, have horrible reactions and say, I don't need this, I don't want it, I shouldn't be on these things. And yet, and we've also heard her say, like, nobody, the medical professionals, the psychologists, nobody's listening to me, the person, and what I need. It's all about this conglomerate of how to continue to keep her making money. And she said that's like some Gypsy Rose Blanchard crap. It absolutely is. I told you guys, I don't think we even know the tip of the trauma Brittany has gone through. Because remember, then there's their whole dark underbelly of Hollywood. Every time I bring this up, people go, oh, you like Q. And I'm like, you mean the letter in the alphabet? And then they go into some blank theory. Well, I just know that Hollywood is full of a whole lot of R words and a whole lot of P words and human traffickers, and that's just proven fact. I'm not saying everybody in Hollywood is, and I'm not talking about the lower laying levels of people like the cameramen and the crewmen, but they're in an industry that totally supports that. I'm sure they themselves don't support it, and they're just trying to make ends meet. I'm just saying that industry is evil. The people who've created it, who control it at the top, not the lower level people. They are just trying to survive. But it is what it is. That doesn't make me a blank theorist. That makes me correct. Remember a guy named Jeff and his airplane? And remember Harvey Weinstein and all the other things that come out? There's a reason. So, and then it says, if you look at her, if you look at the situation from her angle, anybody would have taken an umbrella to somebody's car. Yep, I've said she did remarkably well considering everything she had to go through. The fact that she didn't get worse or more destructive to people, I think, is a testament to the fact that she's a decent person. Lizzie says she would hurt someone. She's like, I'd hurt somebody if I couldn't see my kids and people were harassing me. Yep. So I think Brittany should have gotten an award for how she dealt with all this harassment and then had to go into the, basically the mental health facilities and the state that has control and the court systems and that have controlled her life. And how on earth do they think her mental health will be helped by giving her abusive alcoholic father control? Somebody explain it to me. Tiger Woods, they talked about this. Now, I remember some stuff with Tiger, but I don't remember it being this bad. But I also didn't follow that very well. Fame ate him alive. These are human beings we are messing with. That's right. And that's the thing. We look at people like people with me on YouTube. When things were getting really bad, people decided to take what I said out of context. I'm the biggest R word on the planet. And I get it. I apologized if I hurt anybody. But humor is still a thing and people still get to use sarcasm. I'm sorry if that upsets you. But it's what it is. And that's how the world works. And miscommunications are going to happen. But I just know, again, as somebody on a lower level, and I was just losing my mind with trying to stay alive. And people decided I'm a caricature and I deserved it. And they were horrific to me. And that created a lot of trauma. And it's still, the damage that was done from all of that and what people did is still going on in my life. Because somehow we disassociate that people are people to fit a narrative so we can use people for our entertainment purposes and our entertainment value. It's crazy. And I think that's one of the reasons people had to make up that, and it still goes on. People are still ableist with me. They still make up I'm not actually sick. And that's why, as sad as it is, a part of me was like, I'm not going to be able to come back to YouTube until I come back looking dramatically thinner, because I know how people operate. Their psychology, how people operate. They're not going to take me seriously until they see there's a change. And that's just how it's going to have to happen. There was no way I could have been that overweight from what people saw me to going there and having anybody take me seriously or not make fun of me, because we see people for entertainment value. And it's disgusting. I agree. And so then they said, I don't care how successful you are, it's evil and disgusting. And apparently she talked about that somebody's tampon was collected as a result of Tiger Woods. I don't know what that is. I can't really speak on it, but I wouldn't, you know what, per that era, the 2010s, wouldn't be surprised. So, and then she said, and I want to talk about this because this is brilliant. I might go off on a bit of a tangent. The same people championing Tiger were all the same people that were a part of his downfall and the same people that cheered him on. If you ever listen to successful people talk about the things to avoid, it's this. They talk about how many people, the same ones that cheer you on, are the ones that want to kick you with your downfall. I have friends, well, former friends, no longer in my life, and I say former family members because they are not in my life, and I've made it a point to be that way. This is what they've done to me. They have been horrific. They have either neglected or abused or done horrible things to me. And yet when I start to be successful despite what they do, they cheer me on. I'm the best thing in the world. It's love bombing. It's wanting the perks of whatever's going on with me, or just the fact that it's bragging rights of knowing me. But the moment I show any weakness, the claws and the teeth come out, and they cannot wait for my downfall. And they will be as big a part of it. But then if you start to rise up, they want to cheer you on. And I think they're too unintelligent to understand their patterns. What I mean by that is, it's not that people aren't intelligent. Most people have a lot of the same innate intelligence. It's not about your capacity. It's that they haven't done the work on themselves to learn what their patterns are of how they react to things. Where I've dedicated a lot of my life to constantly trying to figure it out. It's taken me a while, but I have. Most people don't do that. Some people do. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. People who are constantly trying to look at themselves, better themselves, and whatnot. But many times, guys, the biggest, loudest supporting voices are going to be the biggest, most awful, hating people. This is just how it goes. This is the psychology. Think about some of the biggest supporters of mine, the beginning of my YouTube career, and then the people who were my biggest downfall. Just think about it that way. And it is what it is. So I always say with success, success and failure will show you who your friends are and who the supportive people are and are not. It truly, truly will. And I feel like that has been tried and true and tested for me time and time again. And sadly, over the years, I've been left with very few people because I think there were very few real people in my life. Now, I'm not talking about people who, we've grown apart or gotten busy. I have people that I feel close with that I could call if I needed anything. And guess what? We talk once a year because everybody's busy, and I'm fine with that. But I'm talking about people who are absolutely, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that was one person that I had known for a long time in my life that when things started to come out about me with YouTube, this is a person who had said horrific things, made up a lot of lies, had already tried to damage me in my professional field. A person I brought into my professional field turned around and made up lies to people that people were like, thinking were correct and banking on, saying like I'd never paid income taxes. And I was like, that's easily provable. I've been late a couple years on my income taxes, and that's okay. When it comes to like state and local, you pay a fee. And that's because one time it was because I was sick, and the time previously was because one of the companies I worked for never sent me my tax information. And I think they went bankrupt or something. And that happens. There's a lot of, there are a lot of companies that, a big client leaves and they're done. Like a lot of little smaller marketing companies, but I made enough money. I was waiting on their stuff. I had an accountant I was working with, and people just believed it. And this was somebody I considered a family member, and I was just like, wow, you are the ultimate piece of crap. Luckily, I will never have to have anything to do with that person and all of their issues. That's another thing. This is just a quick side note. Always pay attention to people, the red flags from people. This was somebody that I noticed throughout life. Sometimes they'd get this mean streak to me and I didn't know why. And I think because I'd been through abuse, there was a part of me that just thought you've done something, you deserve it. Like I'd be trying on clothes, and at this time I was significantly smaller than this person. They'd start making fun of me, and I didn't the clothes I was wearing, and I didn't understand it. trying to basically trying to SLUT shame me, even though it was like business outfits that maybe like the what is it, not the collar, but it was a little bit V-necked. Like, oh, I didn't get it. And I noticed they had a lot of issues in their relationships personally with jealousy. And somehow I decompartmentalized it, thinking their jealousy issues didn't have anything to do with me. When years later, I understood your jealousy issues have everything to do with our friendship. And that's why you get mean to me. That's why you'll feel entitled to take from me. That's why you have, like, I saw so many parallels and I was like, oh, I just couldn't see that you were also using this nasty, and I can't stand, I'll tell you one thing I can't stand is jealousy energy. And now here's the thing. For me, there are very few people, like I can get jealous, but I mean jealous in the destructive, I'm going to set out to destroy you way. If I ever, and it's rare, but if I'm ever jealous of somebody, my thought is, wow, you are somebody I want to be, or you have something I don't have. Let me befriend you. Let's help each other. How did you get that? How can I help you? That's how I think about things. A lot of people though, like this person I'm referring to, when they have jealousy issues, they get very destructive, and it's because they don't believe they have the power to have what you have. They want what you have, yet they don't have the power. They lack the willpower, the skills. And sometimes it's simple willpower. At this point, I think this person was just jealous because I was smaller of them. And it's not like with me. It's not like they have a physical issue. It's not like it's simply because they don't have self-control. It's literally being mad at themselves. So they took it out on me. Has that ever happened? Sound off in the comments. A bit of a ranty video. I should have figured because, like I said, I am a little cranky. And actually what they're talking about is stuff I've been processing lately about myself on YouTube. Oh, she makes all her videos about herself. Yep, I talk about my own experiences. Bite me. Bite my video. So, they talked about, people were championing Tiger Woods. The same people championing him were the ones that were at his downfall, that wanted to build him back up. Yeah, textbook. So Ryland says, he's like, I don't consider myself famous. I mean, he is, but I also get what he's saying. He's trying to be humble. He says, but he's learned in his situations, like with Shane, you can't control public perception. You just can't. You can't control the narrative of how people view you. It takes one person to tell your story wrong, and that's it. I have been processing the last few days a lot of anger about that, because you guys know and this is not just me. So this is not poor me, a unique situation me. This is a lot of chronically ill people. We are in a constant catch-22. To get better, we have to have money. We're too sick to make money, but we have to sacrifice what health we have to make money. And even if you're on disability, most of the time disability is like, unless you have the support of friends or family, you are screwed. What scares me is seeing how many people in homeless populations are just physically sick. They're disabled. That is a very, very scary thing. We are still toddlers when it comes to being compassionate and understanding health. This is why I get so mad at all these social justice people who've decided to take what I've said out of complete context and use it in a way to be very negative to me. And also, they never spoke up and didn't care about the ableism that happened to me, and many joined in that process. So, it's a lot of hypocrisy, and it just makes me mad. The whole thing makes me mad. Let me go back to my notes. Sorry, the battery ran out, so I had to change it. So he says he's learned you can't control the narrative, and that is completely correct. One person can get attention. Giving assumptions as fact or saying all kinds of lies as truth, your life is ruined. And in that case, it's stuff like that where I kind of wonder, Shane ever going to come back? I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. Why would you want to go create something that people are just going to use to be horrifically mean to you? Why would you want to do that? Off of stuff you've already apologized for and tried to atone for. Yet we let so many other awful people and awful things slide. It's always crazy to me. So, he says the internet will eat itself. I agree. At some point, people will stop creating altogether because it's not fun to create things for people to hate on. I think I would agree if you're a decent person. I think there are enough people who want the attention so badly, they're fine to tear one another down for it, even if they get torn down. That's just my opinion. So I think that what we'll end up seeing social media devolve into, it's going to end up being a Lord of the Flies situation, where it's just the nastiest of people trying to be as nasty as they can to one another. So they talked about, at some point people stop creating, because who wants to do that? Jenna Marbles left because she didn't want to create something that could potentially hurt people or be perceived that way. Who's going to want to spend a month on a project, promote it, and have people hate on it? Ryland thinks it's fascinating how little control you have of your own image. South Park is so good about this. South Park did an episode, I know what this one is, about building up celebrities just to tear them down. It's basically like the gladiators back in the day, but we didn't pit them against other opponents. We pit them against the world. But they've been doing this, guys. It's not just that. Like, if you go look back in history, there were societies that would take these people, deemed as virgins, right? And they would just they would shower them with love and attention and praise, and then like bury them alive and sacrifice them and do and that was just part of their society. Very scary and freaking crazy. So, and so he says, like the gladiators, but we're pitting people against the world and not other people. And he says, and we love the entertainment value in seeing somebody rise, fall, and maybe rise again. It's entertaining. We don't look at entertainers as people. We look at them, we feel entitled to them as entertainment. It's interesting. Robin Williams once was talking about how people who figure out when they realize who he is, they treat him like he's not supposed to be a person. So if people go, oh, you're Robin Williams, do something funny. He's like, that's not, first of all, I can't be on all the time. You can't, I'd be dead. You can't exist that way. And secondly, I'm a person. Like, I've had people, do that with me when I was a singer. They'd be like, oh, sing something. And I'm like, well, we're kind of in a crowded area. I don't need that kind of attention. It's not really appropriate right now. It'd be like me, somebody going, I'm a dentist. Oh, really? Be a dentist right now. Fix my teeth. Fix them. But, it's certain areas like entertainment, we feel entitled to do that to people. Somebody, I'm a doctor. Oh, really? Diagnose me. Oh, doctors might actually get this more often. Diagnose me right now. Right now. Give me an exam. I work in insurance. Really? Sell me a policy. Well, insurance person might want to do that because they want to make some money. No disrespect to insurance salesmen or saleswomen. I get angry at insurance because it has become a necessary evil in our culture. So I get angry about it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that because I literally don't have the energy to be cranky enough to go in that area. So Ryland says he put up a video recently, as I showcased, and of course people took it and ran with it like I thought they would. It's so easy to predict what they're going to do. He says, Ryland said about the video he did recently, he left in a little tip with his family. He's tired of trying to make a certain image or appear a certain way or perfect because he wants to be real. And he's just at the point where like, screw it, I'm going to be real. And they talked about drama channels or news sources taking other drama channels as credible sources. Boom, roasted. I loved it. I wanted to do a whole separate video for this because I think this is so true. I don't know what Shane is doing, even though I know every part of his life because obviously we talk every day, all the time. I talk to him all the time. Even though I never talk to him, I still talk to him because gossip is fact. I'll tell you what I would love to see from him. Not that it's my business, because I'm not entitled to anybody's anything. When you grow up, life beats you up enough. You learn that. But when it comes to Shane, what I would love to see is a big old comeback when he's ready and only when he's ready. And he can take all of his sweet time. And he deserves to. He's worked hard. He's successful. He can do whatever he wants. So says me. I would love to see him come back and maybe even do a little series or touch on this type of thing about internet bullying. Shane took the worst people and helped us look at them in a certain way. Or I should say this, the most perceived worst people. And he helped us look at them as humans. Shane humanized people. And I hope whatever Shane does, he is happy and at peace. And if he feels up to it, come back and show us how to be human again. Sharon Darson. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Like the video, also subscribe and hit notifications if you're new so you know when I upload. Sound off in the comments. What do you think? Am I right? Do you hate me? I'd love to hear it all. And share this content with people you think would like it. Also, I'm so excited. These just came in the mail. I got them super cheap. Glittering iris and velvet petals, all in decadent. Well, this isn't a decadent. This is. I love velvet petals, pure seduction, and love spell. And I always love, I love all the offshoots of them. You guys can't see it. I have a huge collection, well, some of the collection of body sprays. You know what, though? If my quirk is that I want to smell good, I don't think people are going to be too upset. Take care, guys. Lots of love, lots of blessings. I'll see you soon. And try not to get blood or beet juice on your hoodies. Bye, guys.